This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
That California State story yesterday was enormous news for Major League Baseball, for MLB, for, like we talked about it yesterday. It's two pro teams and sometimes more in Southern California for every sport. So then all of a sudden you're in a position now where you're already putting those in a difficult spot. Now we talk about the next domino falling yesterday in the afternoon. California State University say, nah, we're going to fall classes online. So other universities are probably going to follow suit. And then obviously that's going to, I think college football is, Herb Street said it almost 2 months ago or a month and a half ago or whatever it was. And everybody was freaking, he's crazy. And maybe it was a little overreactive at that moment. But now as the summer starts to move on, you start to look at it and you say, you know what, he might be right. Because it's kids. I mean, look, if you're a parent, until things are safe, you're not going to send your kid back out on the road to a dorm and to go hang out with thousands of other kids. Everybody knows how college life is. You're going to spread a lot of germs, okay? There's always a lot of stuff being spread around in colleges. So if you don't have this thing under control, I just don't know how you end up really, overcoming all of this. So it already looks like college sports are becoming maybe an impossibility this year. And that's okay, and that's understandable with the kids. And now the pros. And now we just had the baseball player, Snell, come out and say for Tampa, you know what? I'm not on this bandwagon here. I'm not pitching. I'm not taking a pay cut, and I'm not putting myself at risk and all of that. And we talked about this yesterday, how the optics for this is not going to look good for baseball. It's not going to look good for the players. But, I mean, this is the world we're in. Now, the one thing, we talked about yesterday with the baseball players, that the optics aren't going to look good and that they were kind of put in a tough position by the owners because they first agreed to a prorated salary. So whatever you were going to get paid for 162, well, if we only play 100 or 82, well, then that's what you're going to pay. You're going to get paid. Now they cut it to the point of 50-50. And then the average person's looking at that, and the people that aren't employed are looking at that and going, so you're going to turn down millions because you're getting paid a little less millions, whatever. So you're going to make $5 million instead of $8 million, but you don't want to play for $5 million. And so people are like, what the hell is this? So the optics are going to look absolutely terrible. Now, as I told you in defense of the players, the owners put them in a difficult position. Now, let me put you in a baseball player's position because maybe a lot of them, on average, they made $4.4 million last year. The average salary is $4.4 million. So they made good money last year at the lowest point. Think about this, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I want you to think about all of this now, okay, before you slam the players. This is kind of weird that I'm actually taking the side of the players on this. One, I already told you on how the owners reversed the whole agreement a couple of months back when, hey, it was prorated. Now it's 50-50, which is less money for the players, right? But then I want you to think about this before you slam any of the baseball players, okay? Put yourself in their position. Last year, you made $4.4 million. Last year, you made $8 million. Last year, you made $10 million. Last year, you made $20 million. Last year, you made $30 million. Whatever your salary structure is. Worst case scenario, it was $4.4 million. Or 4, or 3. You got money in the bank.
Well, you should.
You should, but that's what. Maybe that's where that's coming from. Is my point. So if you work for a garbage company, okay, and you made $8 million last year, or 1.5, and you only spent a couple $100,000 to live, and you got a couple million in the bank because you've been making 1.5 for several years or 8 million for several years, and you got some money in the bank. And they tell you, no, we need you to come back to work for a pay cut. And you say, no, I'm not coming back to work. I got money in the bank. My family is safe. I'm good. I'm going to hold off right now. Isn't that what a lot of baseball players might be doing? They might be saying, no, you got to pay me or forget it, bro. I got money in the bank. I can wait.
Risk ain't worth the reward.
Right. So for those baseball players, which is probably a lot of them, that they've got the money in the bank and they can actually sit out the year and wait for a vaccine the following year or wait till the situation clears up. Do you blame a baseball player for doing that? Wouldn't you do that? Right? I mean, I know that if I didn't have to work, I wouldn't work. I'm serious.
Well, just about anybody, I think, would. The majority. Majority.
Okay, but let's not make it sound like these baseball players must go to work. They must entertain my boredom. Right?
I think
that's basically what we're doing to all of the sports. Right? No, we need them to come back because I'm bored. We need them to come back because I got nothing to watch. We need them to come back because it's for my entertainment.
Get out on that field and entertain us.
Right. You don't care if they're sweating, colliding, possibly getting COVID. You're home.
Put COVID on that ball and throw it into the shortstop.
Right. You're home. You're on your couch. You don't care. They're getting paid. But you don't care if they might be risking their lives. You know what I mean? It's the Roman gladiators. We're back to it again. That's all. It's like we're in the Colosseum. We're being entertained by the gladiators, getting mauled by tigers and lions, and we're all cheering, and we don't care. So some baseball players, or a lot of baseball players, might say, you're Mike Trout. You're one of the best players in the game. Do you really need to come back to baseball this year? If it's not safe, you got a great life. You got a family. You got bank. You own a bank. Right? You're Mike Trout. You own a bank. You don't have a bank.
You could if you wanted to, no doubt.
You own a bank. Okay?
With a nice fleet of Brinks trucks to move your money around.
So you're Mike Trout. Why should you play? Why? You tell me. Oh, for your entertainment, he should play. Not because he needs it. He doesn't need to play baseball. He doesn't need to prove anything to anybody. He doesn't need the money either. I mean, it's nice to make an extra $30 million, whatever he makes. I get it. It's fantastic. And Moreno is happy to write that check because obviously he produces for him. But, it's so quick. Because I hear media members and I see fans and they're tweeting and texting me and, these baseball players are wrong. Hell, I get it. The optics might look bad, but
you got to factor in more than just this and that, man.
They do have families,
bunch.
right?
Yes.
They do have families, and they do have parents, and they do have a wife or a husband or kids or whatever it is that any of these athletes have. They do have the things that we have, right? When I go home, I get to hug my wife and my daughter and my 4 dogs, and that's really important for me. That's my security blanket, how I feel good every day because I get to go back to my foundation. You know what I mean? The people that love me, the people that support me no matter what. That's important to me. Players have that too. And, the guy that has $10 million in the bank and has a family says, I'm good. Isn't that what Andrew Luck said? I'm good. I've taken enough of a beating. I'm good. Meanwhile, Colts fans are going, how dare you quit? We need you. He's got money in the bank already. He's a super smart guy. He probably has his degree. He has options. I'm good. And if any of us had the opportunity to say, I'm good, I would.
No, you've skewed my thinking a little to the side because you know what? Forget about this, that. What are the risks? What are that should be first and foremost right now. What are the risks?
Now, the key here, Bill, is some of us have to take some risks. We have no choice. There is no vaccine. We don't have money. We have to pay bills. We have to do things. We have no choice. Some of these players, they have a choice, man. A CEO has a choice. I mean, they have choices. They have
if
put
you're in
themselves in that position.
Would you do it?
I wouldn't play.
Huh?
I wouldn't play.
Right. Exactly. I mean,
if I have money.
Look, we're not going to go to we've talked about it, man.
Oh, yeah.
Until things are really, really, and you've assured me that there's no risk, like almost no risk. There's always a risk.
Right.
But, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's the stuff right in your face. Take away that risk. You know what? Until that's there, it's not worth your life.
That's right. Alex
and
says,
the other thing, it isn't just yours. The thing that's nasty about this is, God forbid you give it to somebody in your circle and you end up killing them.
Yeah.
Oh, my. You know how horrible you're going to feel for the rest of your life?
Oh, Alex just says, he just signed a $430 million contract. He's probably talking about Trout.
Oh, is that all?
So if I'm Mike Trout, I'm like,
I
don't need it, bro. I don't need it. So before you slam these baseball players, how dare they? Yeah. They've got plenty of reasons to say no if they want to. And if they're in the bank and it's nice and fat, then you got no problem with that. I get it. I totally understand it.